the Great Northwoods to the Rockbound Coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, authorities located the body of the missing boater from Rockland late last night. We'll bring you the details ahead. Plus, the assistant fire chief from the Searsmont Fire Department has passed away due to injuries from the Robbins Lumber Mill fire. And the Augusta City Hall will be moving to a 4-day work week after a successful pilot program. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop. Thank you for tuning in this morning. We'll have those stories and much more coming up, including the recap of the Whoopie Pie Festival and Flag Day. And for the weather today, we'll definitely see some rain and wind, and the skies will be mostly cloudy with temperatures in the low 70s. Let's start off this morning by getting a first check of our forecast. Devin Biggs joins us now.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. This morning, a flood watch will be expiring after some decent rainfall that we've had recently. We'll get the last of the rainfall out of here later on today. We've also had a small craft advisory issued that will be expiring later on this afternoon along the coast. Meanwhile, here's that rainfall that's been passing through in that flood watch area. We have more of that will be passing through. We've also had some lightning with that too. The lightning has since backed off. So once we get this rain out of here, things will begin to calm down as a cold front passes through. Let's zoom things out. This is the only action across parts of the Northeast. So again, once we get that through, things will begin to calm down. So futurecast moving forward, again, the rain will be clearing out of here. A few sporadic rain showers. Again, we'll lose the clouds overnight, a partly cloudy sky overnight. So again, some wind today reaching up to about 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll lose the wind overnight, but picking up again as we head towards the daytime period tomorrow, up to around 20 miles per hour. So your hourly forecast pushing forward. Here we go. Plenty of rain on the way with temperatures overall in the 70s, drying out for the afternoon. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, first this morning, the body of the missing boater from Rockland was recovered late last night. According to the Maine Warden Service, the body of Timothy Payson, 59, was located by divers in approximately 15 feet of water on the Chickawaukee Lake in Rockland at around 10:20 p.m. The recovery of his body comes around 14 hours after Rockland resident first reported hearing a man yelling for help while he was working outside on his home. Authorities say that he ran down to the riverbank while his wife dialed 911. Once he got to the water, the man reportedly saw a small Zodiac-style boat in the water doing circles with a dog also on board. The man reportedly never saw Payson on the boat or in the water. At first, the responders who managed to turn off the moving boat could not find him either. The Maine Warden Service says that the dive team began searching for Payson at around 1 p.m. and continued into the night with sonar equipment watercraft until he was found. We will provide more information once that becomes available. Well, another top story this morning, Assistant Chief Wayne Woodbury of the Searsmont Fire Department has died, according to the Maine State Fire Marshal's office. Woodbury died on Sunday morning at Maine Medical Center in Portland from injuries that he sustained in the Robbins Lumber fire and explosion. He was 76 years old. According to the Fire Marshal's office, Woodbury was among the many firefighters who battled the fire at Robbins Lumber in Searsmont on May 15th, which killed Morrill firefighter Andrew Cross and injured 12 others. According to a social media post by the Thorndike Fire Department, Woodbury had been receiving treatment at Maine Medical Center since that incident and then died as a result of injuries sustained during that explosion. In that post, the department says, quote, "This loss is felt throughout the entire fire service community. The courage, dedication, and selfless service displayed by Assistant Chief Woodbury will never be forgotten. His commitment to protecting others exemplified the very best of the fire service." While officials have said that they believe the cause of the Robbins lumber fire was accidental, that investigation is still ongoing. In another Facebook post, the town of Searsmont says the dignified transfer of Woodbury will go from Portland to Belfast. They expect that he'll go through Searsmont, traveling down New England Road at around 3 p.m. today. More updates about the procession are also expected to be made public. Well, Governor Janet Mills issued a statement yesterday regarding the passing of Wayne Woodbury. She said in part, quote, "Wayne gave his life to protect his community and his sacrifice and example will never be forgotten. On behalf of the people of Maine, I extend my deepest condolences to the Searsmont Fire Department, to his community, and to all impacted by this devastating loss," end quote. Meanwhile, the Penobscot County Sheriff's Office is investigating an ATV crash in Corinth that killed one person and seriously injured another person on Saturday night. According to the Sheriff's Office, the crash happened around 10 p.m. on Beach Grove Road. Upon arrival, first responders discovered that an ATV had left the roadway and rolled over into a wooded area. 2 people were ejected from the machine. Authorities said that one person was pronounced dead at the scene, and a second individual was then taken to a local hospital with serious injuries. Penobscot County Sheriff's Office says early investigations indicate that the ATV was being operated on a roadway, not on a designated trail, when it left the road and then overturned. Officials say speed, reckless operation, and alcohol are all believed to be factors in the crash. No other details are being released at this time, and that crash also remains under investigation. Well, 2 car crashes on Interstate 95 over the weekend shut down traffic on the highway and resulted in 1 death. Both incidents occurred on the northbound side of the interstate. The first incident involved a single vehicle in the ditch around mile marker 174 in Newburgh. Maine State Police say that 58-year-old Darcel Geyser, a brewer, was traveling northbound in the passing lane when her vehicle left the roadway and rolled over several times. Authorities say that Geyser was not wearing a seatbelt and had to be extricated from the vehicle. She was pronounced dead at the scene, and that investigation remains ongoing. And according to an officer on scene, a second crash a few miles down the highway occurred as a result of that first incident. What we know at this time is that a camper caught on fire near mile marker 167 in Carmel. Cell phone video from a passerby shows that flames and smoke were billowing from that vehicle. The officer on scene for traffic control stated that the incident occurred while highway traffic was interrupted due to that first crash. We will continue to update you as more information becomes available. Well, now to the latest in the case surrounding the death of 10-year-old Braxton Smith, who died after suffering what court records showed to be months of abuse and neglect. On Thursday, the boy's father, Joshua Smith, pleaded guilty to murder, and on Friday, the boy's grandmother did the same. Our Callie Warren with the details.
Do you want me to accept your guilty plea? Yes, I will accept the guilty plea.
On Friday in Bangor, Misty Laturette pleaded guilty to a charge of depraved indifference murder in the 2024 death of her grandson, 10-year-old Braxton Smith.
The evidence suggests that this child was subjected to horrific child abuse and neglect.
Court records show that Braxton Smith died of blunt force trauma. His injuries were deemed consistent with battered child syndrome. When he died at St. Joseph's Hospital in February of 2024, Braxton weighed just 48 pounds. The average weight of a healthy 10-year-old boy is expected to be around 70 pounds. The prosecution asserted that Laturette, alongside Braxton's parents, were complicit in starving him, restraining him with zip ties and other forms of physical and mental abuse.
When asked whether she ever got physical with Braxton, she responded that she would ask Braxton, "What's your problem?" and then go on to restrain or punish him. She actively participated in covering up the abuse by making sure Braxton had his sunglasses on when going into a public place to conceal his bruised face.
Laturette pleaded not guilty at her arraignment in June of 2024. According to Laturette's attorney, the defense entered an Alford plea, a type of guilty plea where a defendant accepts a sentence without admitting their own guilt. A formal date for Laturette's sentencing has not yet been set. She's expected to learn her sentence later this month. In studio, Callie Warren, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
In other news, the ranked choice voting tabulation process started on Friday afternoon. The process will determine which candidates won 3 of the major primary election races. As our Doug Banks reports, it could take a few days before Mainers know which candidate won the Democratic and Republican gubernatorial races and the Democratic 2nd Congressional District seat.
Okay, let the fun begin.
The fun in this case
is the tedious task of counting votes from across Maine for the Democratic and Republican gubernatorial races in the Democratic 2nd Congressional District race, which did not receive more than 50% of the votes after Tuesday's primary. So now it goes to a ranked choice voting tabulation process, which sifts through Mainers' second choices and on. Before all of that, though, ballots are uploaded into a database.
Once it's all uploaded into our database and all compiled together, that's when we're going to run the tabulation for the machines.
Locked metal boxes filled with ballots from Madawaska to Kittery were escorted by police into the public safety building in Maine's capital city.
There's 487 municipalities in the state, so it takes some time to process all that information.
The process is being conducted by the Secretary of State Department.
This process is very detailed, really meticulous. We have excellent professional election staff who are managing the entire process.
Including the longest tenured state election director in the country, Julie Flynn.
She is experienced, she knows what she's doing, and she's going to make sure every detail is exactly right before we move forward to the next step.
They will resume tabulations on Monday. They hope to have final results prior to next Friday. And similar to our last reporting, the process is open to the public, and it will be live streamed on their YouTube page. In Augusta, Doug Banks, ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, the time now is 8:11. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, Bangor officials are asking drivers to make sure their parking tickets are paid off. We'll have more on that coming up. But first, another look at the forecast. For today, we have a chance of thunder showers with some decreasing clouds, temperatures in the mid-70s. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy with temperatures dipping down to the low 50s. And for tomorrow, mostly sunny and breezy, highs around 78. We'll be right back.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Fires, floods, burst pipes. Disasters happen, but the mess they leave behind doesn't have to last. For 40 years, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration has been there to help Mainers get back to the closest to normal as they can. When your property is at its worst, Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration is at their best, and they have been for 4 decades. Put your trust in the Bouchard team. Bouchard Cleaning and Restoration. You keep the memories, we'll handle the rest.
See the USA in your Chevrolet.
The best way to see the USA starts in a Chevy SUV with room for the whole family. Tech to bring everyone closer. Added peace of mind for every mile. And range to take you farther.
Get this low mileage lease on this 2026 Chevrolet Equinox for around $329 per month. Visit your Maine Chevy dealers.
Dreaming of a new garage or custom build? Patriot Landscaping and Construction delivers from frame to finish. Expert craftsmanship, durable designs, and quality you can trust, we get it done right. Call Patriot Landscaping and Construction today. Let's build your future together.
Think you're good at trivia? Arrange these holidays, these historic firsts, these animals. By the way,
I have no idea.
Congratulations! You have built the perfect line! I'm Deborah Norville, and this is The Perfect Line.
Onion rings before, in between onion rings and pizza.
Definitely after. Oh, this is what happy looks like.
Weekdays at 10 on Fox 22.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, after a pilot program that began in March, Augusta City Hall will be making the jump and moving to a 4-day work week. According to Augusta's city manager, their new schedule will be Monday through Thursday, and they'll be extending their hours to 7:15 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. He says a lot of their services can be found online, and they'll be utilizing a drop box for residents to use.
It was basically trying it with our larger services that we provide. We didn't get a lot of negative feedback. Believe it or not, we're one of the last in Kennebec County to actually go to a 4-day work week municipality-wise.
The new work schedule goes into effect on July 13th. Mills says that the move will help with staff retention, recruitment, and save on the building's operational costs. With summer tourism season fast approaching, Bangor officials are urging drivers to make sure they don't have any outstanding parking tickets before heading into downtown. Our Alex Schley with that story.
Bangor parking officials have a simple message for drivers.
If you get 3 or more parking tickets, good to get them paid off.
Last summer, the city introduced the Barnacle, a large device that attaches to a vehicle's windshield and prevents it from being driven until outstanding fines are paid.
You still can come in here and pay. We'll still have somebody go take it off for you if you need it, or use a code on it. You can call up, pay your tickets, or use your phone, pay your tickets online. It gives you a code, you want to release it, you have 24 hours to bring it back to the office.
City officials say the intent isn't to catch people off guard.
But the ultimate goal is to get people to park 2 hours in a 2-hour zone, so that space can be freed up for a customer who wants to go into a business downtown.
And with thousands of visitors expected to flood downtown during the summer months, officials say they're ready to take a tougher approach with drivers who continue to ignore their citations. City officials say, consider this your final warning.
As more of a courtesy, we do put something on somebody's windshield to tell them you're getting close to getting the barnacle, so you don't just walk out and see the barnacle. Again, that is something that we're doing as a courtesy. We don't have to be doing that, and probably eventually that will go away, and you'll just come out and you'll see the barnacle.
City officials say the barnacle is already being used regularly, and as summer activities ramp up, so too will enforcement efforts. In Bangor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, yesterday was Flag Day, an annual observance that commemorates the adoption of the American flag. To recognize this celebration, a local American Legion post held a flag retirement ceremony. The Dowlogie American Legion Post 115 in Corinth, along with scout troopers from Corinth and Dover Foxcroft, were joined by community members yesterday to demonstrate a dignified burning of the American flag. The local scouts were also recognized with advancements in ranks and their merit badges. According to Legion Commander Roger Gray, the ceremony aimed to encourage the community and the scouts to reflect on our nation's history as we approach America's 250th anniversary.
I believe it's a scouting requirement for them, for their Americanism as well as the American Legion. So to pay respect to our flag, especially on Flag Day, and give them the proper retirement is crucial.
When we work with organizations like the American Legion to show respect for the flag ceremonies, it definitely helps get them involved and get them to understand all of the things that we should know as Americans.
And the amount of experiences and life skills you learn being in Scouting America is just amazing and phenomenal in and of itself.
Well, Scout members shared that it was the first time that many of them had seen how to properly cut a nylon flag, which can be hazardous if burned. This year also marks the 80th year for the American Legion in Corinth. Commander Gray says that the post plans to hold other events for that celebration as well. And a friendly reminder from the Department of Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, Maine turtles are hitting the pavement on a mission to find their favorite nesting spots. So if you find yourself in the unexpected role of turtle crossing guard, the department asks you remember these 3 golden rules. They say watch for traffic and only stop to help when it's safe to do so. Go hands-free when possible. You can use a snow shovel to lift and carry snapping turtles. But if you need to handle a turtle, definitely support the shell. Tails are not handles. Second, always help turtles cross in the direction that they were already traveling. Otherwise, they'll head right back into traffic after you leave. And finally, help turtles cross where you found them and let them go on with their own plan. Relocation may cause a longer trip on an unfamiliar route with even more dangerous crossings for those turtles. Well, the time now is 8:19. After the break, the U.S. and Iran have a deal after weeks of attacks and shaky negotiations. We'll bring you the latest coming up. Plus, last night was fight night on the lawn of the White House. We'll have the details as Good Morning Maine continues.
We invited passionate soccer fans to push Nissan vehicles to the limit, just like they do with their teams. Further proof that the Nissan lineup is tested and trusted by the toughest. Hurry in to bring home a winning offer at the Nissan Summer Sales Event.
Now well-qualified buyers get 0% APR on select model trims or get up to $5,750 total savings on select Frontier trims.
Maine's rural hospitals are struggling, but Senator Susan Collins came to the rescue, delivering critical federal funding for upgraded facilities and life-saving diagnostic equipment. Susan Collins does her job, and our hospitals benefited. Call and thank her for delivering for Maine.
It's mowing season. And Bad Boy Mowers has the best lineup in the game. Built to win with more power, advanced engineering, and performance that never quits. Whether you're playing on this field or this field. So this mowing season, raise your game and join the team. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
Family owned and operating in the Bangor area for more than 10 years. Crosby's Welding is here to help you. We specialize in steel, stainless steel, and aluminum welding and fabrication. We serve many of the local industries from Maine lobstermen to the commercial trucking industry and everything in between. Fully mobile on-site construction services right down to custom signs and fire pits. Fast, friendly, reliable service. Give us a call today for a free estimate, 974-7815.
I am back. I'm here to help.
I don't know what to do.
We're going to rebuild this thing. We're cooking with love.
A major coast-to-coast weather threat this morning. Severe storms in the northeast with near 70-mile-an-hour winds, delaying thousands of flights as extreme heat bears down across California. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
Overnight, heavy rainfall triggered widespread flooding across central Texas. Numerous people had to be rescued from their cars. Elsewhere, powerful storms pummeled parts of the Midwest over the weekend. Parts of Kansas saw hail the size of golf balls. Winds up to 70 miles per hour lashing northeast Ohio, strong enough to topple this historic Ferris wheel, which stood for 70 years.
I mean, we're used to the high winds, obviously, but never to this extreme.
The storm's also wreaking havoc on air travel. More than 10,000 flights delayed and over 1,000 canceled Sunday. Meanwhile, in the West, forecasters are warning of, quote, lethal temperatures that could reach as high as 110 degrees in parts of Northern California. The extreme heat stretching to Oregon and Washington. The National Weather Service says temperatures will stay elevated overnight, offering little relief. And the heat isn't the only concern. Officials are also warning beachgoers along the California coast about dangerous ocean conditions, including rip currents and so-called sneaker waves, powerful waves that can suddenly surge farther up the beach than expected. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
The time now is 8:23. Let's get a full look at our forecast. Meteorologist Devin Biggs is in with the latest.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. So again, advisories, we have some of those up. The flood watch will be expiring later on this morning as we have some rain passing through. The small craft advisory dropping later on this afternoon. We've had some active surf taking place. So let's check out the wave heights right now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, and a little bit active further off towards the north and east. And the wave heights have been rather uniform as well across parts of the region. And as we check out the water temperatures, they've been rising but still rather stable in the middle to upper 50s at this moment in time. So as we do push things forward, here's the main headline right now. We have some showers and yes, a few rumbles of thunder that have been passing through this morning, tracking from the west and going toward the east. They have been weakening a bit as they track off to the east. You notice we've lost the lightning with these showers and thunderstorms. So again, as they track off to the east, the main threat's going to be some decent rainfall with this, close to an inch of rainfall on the way before we're all finished up, hence why some parts are under a flood watch. So again, we're going to push this rain through, some sporadic showers through parts of the afternoon. Notice we'll get some sunshine before things begin to finish up. Parts partly cloudy sky on the way later on tonight, and a nice day as we head towards your Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine on the way, and then by Tuesday night, still looking rather nice. And then once we head towards your Wednesday, another nice one on the way. So as for the rainfall, again, up to 0.8 of an inch of rain before we're all finished up. Some other areas seeing a little bit less. It's going to be very hit and miss depending on where you're at overall. So for today, here's what we're looking at. So mid-70s, some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and decreasing clouds later on, and a south wind at about 20 miles per hour. Later on, partly cloudy tonight, lower 50s for the overnight low, northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 70s, mostly sunny and breezy, northwest wind at about 20 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Wednesday. We'll be under a mostly cloudy sky with highs in the upper 70s. Showers and thunderstorms coming up for your Thursday with highs in the lower 70s. And then Friday, more showers and thunderstorms, highs in the upper 70s.
Need a driveway paved or an entire road surfaced? Give Eaton Paving and Excavation a call. Eaton Paving offers a full line of excavation packages, from new home projects to new and replacement septics and driveways. We also install new shoreland and do shoreland repairs. Our operators have more than 75 years combined experience, and we have been delivering quality, professional service for nearly 3 decades. We strive to exceed your expectations. Give us a call today at 207-348-5630 or visit us at EatonPaving.com.
Got old metal and junk cars? Turn that clutter into cash at Daddy and Daughters. We make recycling easy, fast, and fair. From Skowhegan to Dover Foxcroft, from Troy to Lee, you can trust our certified scales and friendly service, offering top prices for junk vehicles in Maine. Whether you drop off or we pick up, Daddy and Daughters covers central and eastern Maine. Come see us at one of our 4 locations and watch your scrap pay off. Daddy and Daughters turn scrap into cash.
There are so many fun things to do in Maine. Now you can enjoy more for less. Check out half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Escape to Two Rivers Campground in Skowhegan. Enjoy spacious RV and tent sites, full hookups, cozy cabins, and a fully stocked camp store. Unwind with riverfront views, outdoor adventure, and fun for all ages. Book your stay at Two Rivers today.
There's a limited supply available. It's on sale right now. Save with half-off deals from foxbangor.com.
Maine may be a small state, but we face big challenges, and Senator Susan Collins delivers solutions. When our veterans were left out in the cold, Susan Collins secured $3.6 million to help end veteran homelessness. And Collins co-sponsored the bill to protect military spouses' survivor benefits and provide rural veterans access to VA facilities. With her dedication, Susan Collins secures victories time and again for our veterans. Tell Senator Susan Collins to keep championing solutions for Maine's veterans.
The Americans and Iranians confirmed that they have reached a peace deal. Once this is signed, this means that the 60-day ceasefire, there will be a 60-day ceasefire. The Strait of Hormuz is back open and the U.S. naval blockade is lifted. ABC's Karen Waz in Washington with more.
The U.S. and Iran have a deal after weeks of retaliatory attacks and shaky negotiations. Once the new agreement is signed, the Strait of Hormuz opens and the naval blockade is lifted. But the fate of Iran's nuclear program, a major red line for both parties, is still unresolved. It's expected to be further discussed during a 60-day ceasefire. Mike Waltz, the ambassador to the United Nations, explains the complications.
The Iranians are incredibly difficult negotiators, coupled with the fact that they're having a very hard time getting guidance from their supreme leader, and they're not always on the same page within their team.
Vice President J.D. Vance is expected to attend the deal signing in Switzerland Friday. He says the deal ensures Iran will never have a nuclear weapon, but the Iranians have not confirmed this.
If the Iranians comply with his deal, it is going to fundamentally transform the Middle East for the next 50 years. It's going to end the war It's going to make the Middle East more investable. It's going to mean a lot of prosperity, lower energy prices for the American people.
This deal comes just after Israel attacked Hezbollah again in Lebanon, killing 3 people and wounding 6 others. A former Israeli senior military intelligence officer tells ABC's Martha Raddatz he's doubtful Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu would support this new deal between the U.S. and Iran.
We've known the Iranians for many years. You don't really believe that the fact that they promised or they signed something is worth anything.
Overnight, Israel's defense minister said that Israel would not withdraw from any territory it has seized, saying Israel is not subordinate to the United States. Karen Hua, ABC News, Washington.
Meanwhile, a historic night at the White House as the South Lawn transforms into an arena for UFC Freedom 250, a first-of-its-kind sporting event that unfolded on the president's 80th birthday. Here's ABC's Allison Cossack.
Sunday was fight night on the South Lawn of the White House.
From the South Lawn of the White House, UFC Freedom 250.
To start the event, President Trump and UFC chief Dana White walked from the Oval Office to the balcony to survey the octagon, standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see?
While fighter jets roared overhead. The president and first lady sat ringside, the matches happening inside an arena built just for the event, including a custom-built octagon under a massive overhead structure called the Claw. 14 athletes competed in 7 fights. It's the first professional sporting event ever held on White House grounds. 4,000 people packed the massive arena, while thousands more watched from the ellipse outside the White House gates. The event drawing backlash.
I just can't believe that we're at the White House watching UFC fights.
Trump has had a long friendship with Dana White and owns stock in UFC's parent company. A federal lawsuit tried to stop the event from happening, calling it deeply corrupt, arguing it was a for-profit sporting event designed to benefit Trump and his allies. But a federal judge rejected that request. The UFC insists it footed the bill, which topped $60 million, as taxpayers paid the bill for Super Bowl-level security run by the Secret Service. During an interview in May, President Trump claimed that the proceeds from the UFC match would go to soldiers. Allison Cossack, ABC News, New York.
Well, now to the 12 people killed when a skydiving plane went down south of Kansas City. The long investigation of what went wrong is just now getting started. The plane took off around 11:30 on Sunday morning from Butler Memorial Airport, about an hour south of Kansas City. A manager at the airport says that the plane had just taken off when it began a turn and then nosedived into the ground about 300 yards away from the original runway. He says that the small skydiving plane was carrying 9 experienced skydivers, 2 tandem jumpers, and 1 pilot. It remains unclear what caused the plane crash. The company operating the flight, Skydive Kansas City, says it is cooperating with local and federal authorities. Meanwhile, the Ebola crisis in the Democratic Republic of Congo is affecting a key part of its social and economic life. In the DRC's capital city, nightclubs say far fewer patrons are coming to their establishments because they're afraid to catch the Ebola virus. Nightlife businesses still set up hand-washing stations and provide information about the disease in hopes that it helps people feel more comfortable to come out at night. Club owners say that they've lost significant income due to the decline in business. And many people still don't believe that the Ebola virus exists despite all of the awareness campaigns. Ebola has already claimed dozens of lives. The number of confirmed Ebola cases in the Congo has increased to 782, with 181 deaths, according to the Congolese Ministry of Health. Well, it's a Monday morning like no other in New York City. The Knicks finally brought home the Larry O'Brien Trophy after a 53-year wait. The city in a frenzy since Saturday night, with the celebrations proving just how much this title means to the Big Apple. Here's ABC's Hannah Battah.
This morning, the New York Knicks are keeping the party going after winning their first title in 53 years. Fans greeting the champs at the airport after their plane was met with a water cannon salute at Westchester County Airport. Some of the players going straight from the airport to the Puerto Rican Day Parade, which took place, fittingly, on Knickerbocker Avenue. But the parade Knicks fans have been waiting decades for has been set for Thursday. New York's Mayor Zohran Mamdani announcing that a ticker tape parade will be held in the team's honor. It comes after a joyous and chaotic night as the streets of the Big Apple flooded with fans after the final buzzer Saturday night. Some streets impassable as fans young and old celebrated late into the night. Even the fire department joining in on the fun. Fans dancing on top of city's buses, which got cheers of their own. But in some places, the celebration's turning chaotic. 5 school buses being used for the World Cup destroyed, including this one set on fire. Police say 4 people were either stabbed or slashed, and a 17-year-old shot in the foot near Times Square. 10 officers were also injured, and by the end of the night, 63 people had been arrested. Hannah Battah, ABC News, New York.
Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, we'll hear from a local business, Wicked Good Lemonade, and hear about their summer schedule. Don't go away.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
At Spectrum, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between speed, reliability, and value. That's why Spectrum fiber-powered internet gives you all 3 for just $40 a month. No contracts, no commitment. Just great internet at a great price. Spectrum fiber-powered internet delivers the fastest and most reliable internet for everything you do at home. Streaming, gaming, and connecting. Switch today and get Spectrum fiber-powered internet for just $40 a month. Call now or go online.
You're watching Fox 22, Bangor.
The town of Searsport has welcomed a very big visitor for the summer, a metal standee known as Big Jim, representing Maine's history of sardine fishing and canning, now stands watch over Route 1 in front of the Penobscot Marine Museum. Big Jim stands at 31 feet tall and is set on a platform, making him stand out among the tree line. He stands there as homage to a once bustling sardine scene of the state and draws attention to the museum, where a sardine history exhibit is inside.
It's having the effect of drawing attention to the museum, to the sardine industry, and this year's sport.
Museum officials say that the original wooden Big Jim stood in Kittery, first put up in the 1950s. He is now made of metal panels, which were restored and repainted by a group of local Waldo County women known as the WOW Collective.
We're so thrilled to be a part of the history of Big Jim, and it's just really exciting.
Big Jim will stand outside of the museum until the end of the season in October. Well, now let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
All righty, Janessa, thank you very much. Happy Monday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center, now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. All righty, here we go. This morning, a flood watch will be expiring after some decent rainfall that we've had recently. We'll get the last of the rainfall out of here later on today. We've also had a small craft advisory issued that will be expiring later on this afternoon along the coast. Meanwhile, here's that rainfall that's been passing through in that flood watch area. We have more of that will be passing through. We've also had some lightning with that too. The lightning has since backed off. So once we get this rain out of here, things will begin to calm down as a cold front passes through. Let's zoom things out. This is the only action across parts of the Northeast. So again, once we get that through, things will begin to calm down. So futurecast moving forward again, the rain will be clearing out of here. A few few sporadic rain showers. Again, we'll lose the clouds overnight, a partly cloudy sky overnight. So again, some wind today reaching up to about 15 to 25 miles per hour. We'll lose the wind overnight, but picking up again as we head towards the daytime period tomorrow, up to around 20 miles per hour. So your hourly forecast pushing forward. Here we go. Plenty of rain on the way with temperatures overall in the 70s, drying out for the afternoon. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Janessa?
Thank you, Devin. We'll talk about an unusual assignment. Officers in Nevada responding to calls on Thursday about a stray emu wandering a neighborhood in Reno. Investigators say that the person who called about the giant bird was able to keep the bird in the yard until police and animal services came to help out. The emu was taken in while officials went looking for its owner. Fortunately, the emu and its owner were both reunited, and the bird is now safe and back at home. Well, still to come here this morning, Max Sturm with sports. Don't go away.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At CNR Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the CNR promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with CNR Carpet Cleaning.
Are you experiencing foot pain? Comfort Shoes & More has a team of experts trained in pet orthotics to help you find relief. They offer tailored fittings, shoe modifications, customized orthotics, and much more for the ordinary or for the hard-to-fit foot, with fashionable and functional footwear from today's top brands: Hoka, Brooks, Keen, Teva, Taos, Ufus, and Birkenstocks. From running to walking, casual or dress, they have it all. Take the drive to Newport for a sit and fit to find your perfect fit. You and your feet will be glad you did.
It's mowing season. And Bad Boy Mowers has the best lineup in the game. Built to win with more power, advanced engineering, and performance that never quits. Whether you're playing on this field or this field. So this mowing season, raise your game and join the team. Bad Boy, mow with an attitude.
Some of the most powerful Democrats and Republicans in the country were on Epstein Island. It seems the only thing the party establishments can agree on is a love of Jeffrey Epstein and a hatred of me. I'm Graham Platt, and I approve this message because together we will take back our government from the Epstein class.
Where's the ball? Release the ball. Let's get it on!
You're making me nervous.
It's Cash or Splash.
The Quiz with Balls, all new tonight on Fox.
We've got some high school playoff baseball action to get to, so let's kick it right off with the Class B North baseball semifinal between number 1 Ellsworth and number 4 Herman. Ellsworth took the win in the last matchup between these two teams, and Herman starts it off in the first, and Camden Morrison takes advantage of this opportunity to steal second base, and that is immediately followed up by this hit by Tommy Messerv, and that allows Morrison to make it back home for the early 1-0 lead. And then I missed this play, but a tag in between first and second sends Sam Hopkins home for the 2-0 lead. Ellsworth is finally able to get out of the top of the first with this cleanup and throw to first base for the out. I got thrown off here too in the second inning. Pitch goes to first base and then to second to end the frame with the out right there. Third inning now, Herman back up to bat, and with 2 outs, Sam Hopkins drills this one. Catch can't be made. He advances to second. And then Messerv hits one big of his own, sending Messerv home, and number 4 Herman upsets the number 1 team in Class B North 5-2. And now to the D North semifinals between number 2 Bangor Christian and number 3 Katahdin. This one begins with Katahdin's Wyatt Pipes hitting it short, but a missed throw to first by the Patriots gives Calvin Richardson time to send it home, and it's 1-0. Then another great hit from the Cougars sends a second run home. It's Bradley Swallow, and suddenly it's 2-0. Bangor Christian is quick to respond, though, and a bomb from Gagey Farrar lets Jack Kowalski round the bases and bring it home to make it 2-1. Then in the second inning, a missed pitch is going to tie this game up as Drake Nash books it from third to home, and it's all tied up at 2 now. And then in the third inning, a really short hit from Katahdin's Addison Young sends his teammates around the bases. Should be an out at the home plate, but it's missed again. 2-run score. It is 4-2. That would become 5-2. And then a huge inning from BC. 8 runs allows them to come back and advance to the regional title game. And looking at some other scores here in the Class A baseball semifinal, number 3 Bangor upsets number 2 Mount Ararat 5-2. Class A baseball semifinal between Oxford Hills and Hamden Academy. Oxford Hills gets the 3-1 victory. In Class C, Mattanock with the 2-0 win over Dexter PCHS. And then in Class D, Richmond with a 16-2 win over Valley. Some more action for you this time. Softball Class A, Hamden Academy with the 10-8 victory over number 1 Oxford Hills. In 11 innings, they were down and they came back to force extra innings and win in the 11th. In Class B, Old Town number 4 gets the win over number 1 Herman 3-2. A bunch of upsets here today. And then Class C softball semifinal, number 6 Central with a 14-3 win over Holden. And then number 1 PVHS 11-6 over Penquist Valley. It was an ugly spring for the Boston Red Sox. Fans came into the season with somewhat optimistic expectations given the overachieving season they had last year, but have been left utterly disappointed as we enter mid-April. After a bad start, the Sox fired Alex Cora just 27 games into the season, and you can't say it has gotten any better. Many fans believe it's on the front office for not putting a contending roster together, but the Red Sox president Sam Kennedy spoke on the Greg Hill show last week, and it doesn't sound like there's much accountability coming from the front office.
Just to acknowledge before we get into all that, just how embarrassing and unacceptable, maddening, frustrating, whatever words you want to use, the past 2.5 months have been. There's no way to sugarcoat it. It's been awful, especially when you consider the stated goal of building upon what happened last season.
That's all the time we have for sports. We'll be right back after the break.
Purple Co is open and here to stay. Come join a growing community of like-minded people with monthly events, arts and concerts, daily deals, and the best products and prices in the state. Plus, don't miss Purple Co Bangor's annual party on 4/18. Now with 4 locations from Portland to Bangor. Come check us out today.
We need to get rid of Susan Collins. She is the epitome of the establishment politician who serves the donors and serves herself. Who is cynical and duplicitous. Who is willing to say one thing and do another. We have to shed her from our politics. Quite frankly, we have to shed all the people like her. I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
Look at this. You got the MLB All-Star Game in Philadelphia. You wait 250 years, then throw a party so big with the best baseball players on earth, it needs its own zip code. This is how America celebrates a birthday. At this point, it's not a game. It's us showing off. A night of American celebration, 250 years in the making. July 14th on Fox.
Purple Co is open and here to stay. Come join a growing community of like-minded people with monthly events, arts and concerts, daily deals, and the best products and prices in the state. Plus, don't miss Purple Co Bangor's annual party on 4/18. Now with 4 locations from Portland to Bangor. Come check us out today.
Welcome back, everyone. Well, today we are joined by Mike and Mary, the brother-sister duo of Wicked Good Lemonade. Thank you guys so much for coming on the show this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. So you guys actually started this lemonade truck. It's not a lemonade stand. You guys are kind of like a pop-up deal. You started this. It's kind of a recent venture.
Yes.
Why did you guys decide to do this, and what kind of sparked that idea?
Well, one night I was just scrolling on TikTok, and lemonade stands popped up on my screen. I'm like, this looks pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
So I ran it through the model of ChatGPT, made us a business model, down to everything that we needed to do.
Wow.
And all the costs. And
Wow. So we set it up one day, random Wednesday in July, and it took off.
Yeah.
We signed up for Riverfest that year, and that blew up. That led to the Bangor Mall craft fair. That was huge for us.
Yes, you guys have already done quite a few pop-ups.
Yes.
And you said, too, sometimes you'll just drive around in different towns and cities and kind of set up the truck for people, whether that's in a park or maybe down by the waterfront or something, too. Mary, you want to tell us, you guys have quite a few different places that you guys are going to be this summer.
Yes, we're going to be at the POF Festival.
For a festival.
For a festival in Old Town.
Yep.
At Bennett Park. And we're going to be doing
Loon Festival.
Loon Festival.
In Lincoln, Maine.
Yeah, that one's in Lincoln, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We have Cascade Park coming up. There's a Ghoul Fest called in Bucksport in October. Riverfest in September in Old Town. That's a big one.
That is a really big one, yeah. Totally.
And fingers crossed, if everything goes good, the Bangor Mall craft fair.
Yeah, totally. Because, I mean, with the truck situation, it really gives you the opportunity to be able to hit those different towns and cities and expand your range a little bit to more people.
Yes.
And so you told me, too, that you have some interesting flavors and some different flavors coming out. It's not just plain lemonade.
No, one of our favorite ones, everybody asks, is like blue raspberry.
Yes.
Or we have a really strange one. It's called the pickle one.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
It's a sour pickle flavor.
Sour pickle.
That one's, we renamed it. It's called Pickle Pond.
Okay.
With a little play on like the Pickerel
Pond. Yes, yeah. Because you said they're all Maine themed as well. Yeah.
Yep. We have one called the Thunder Hole, Acadia Sunrise.
Yep.
Northern Lights.
Okay. Yeah,
there's
just a bunch of different
I think we have
stuff.
10 specialty ones.
Okay, and they're all 32-ounce
deli containers.
Container. Perfect. So quite a bit that you get in one.
You do.
One
It's quite a bit. They asked, do you have a smaller one? No, we just one size.
One size.
Okay, definitely. Well, you guys have a lot to look forward to, and you're looking to expand potentially with a food situation maybe in the future.
Maybe concession, kind of like concession, nachos,
that would be nice.
Pretzels, hot dogs.
Cool. Well, you guys, I wish you luck this summer.
Oh, thank
for
you.
sure, and you'll definitely have much success with all of it. And if you guys want to learn more, you can visit our website at foxbangor.com after this show, or you can go to their Facebook. They have all of those dates listed out as well at Wicked Good Lemonade. Well, thank you guys again.
Awesome,
thank you
guys.
so
Thank
much.
You. Thank you.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
Alrighty, Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Old Town Redemption Center. Now offering a 10% bonus on your returnables and a monthly $100 drawing. Alrighty, here we go. So again, advisories, we have some of those up. The flood watch will be expiring later on this morning as we have some rain passing through. The small craft advisory dropping later on this afternoon. We've had some active surf taking place. So let's check out the wave heights right now at around 3 to 4 feet according to the buoys, and a little bit active further off towards the north and east. And the wave heights have been rather uniform as well across parts of the region. And as we check out the water temperatures, they've been rising but still rather stable in the middle to upper 50s at this moment in time. So as we do push things forward, here's the main headline right now. We have some showers and yes, a few rumbles of thunder that have been passing through this morning. Track attacking from the west and going toward the east. They have been weakening a bit as they track off to the east. You notice we've lost the lightning with these showers and thunderstorms. So again, as they track off to the east, the main threat's going to be some decent rainfall with this. Close to an inch of rainfall on the way before we're all finished up. Hence why some parts are under a flood watch. So again, we're going to push this rain through. Some sporadic showers through parts of the afternoon. Notice we'll get some sunshine before things begin to finish up. A partly cloudy sky on the way later on tonight, and a nice day as we head towards a Tuesday. Plenty of sunshine on the way. And then by Tuesday night, still looking rather nice. And then once we head towards your Wednesday, another nice one on the way. So as for the rainfall, again, up to 0.8 of an inch of rain before we're all finished up. Some other areas seeing a little bit less. It's going to be very hit and miss depending on where you're at overall. So for today, here's what we're looking at. So mid-70s, some scattered showers and thunderstorms and decreasing clouds later on, and that south wind at about 20 miles per hour. Later on, partly cloudy tonight, lower 50s for the overnight low. Northwest wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, upper 70s, mostly sunny and breezy. Northwest wind at about 20 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Wednesday. We'll be under a mostly cloudy sky with highs in the upper 70s. Showers and thunderstorms coming up for your Thursday with highs in the lower 70s. And then Friday, more showers and thunderstorms, highs in the upper 70s.
The 2026 Nissan Frontier, with Ward's most awarded V6 engine in the last 30 years. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Get 0% APR on select 2026 Frontier trims.
Fast Freddy's cooking, really fast. And he's playing even faster.
2 Fast Play tickets, please.
Fabulous Fives is loaded with $5,000 prizes. Cha-Ching is loaded with $250 prizes. Both are fast, easy, and fun. Hungry to win? Ask for Main Lottery's Fast Play today.
Also, play 500,000 Platinum Payout. You could win $500,000.
Whether you're thinking of getting your first tattoo or building onto your collection of skin art,
Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth provides the safest and most comfortable tattoo and piercing experience.
at Disconnected Tattoo, we'll combine your vision with our art to create something special that will last the test of time.
Don't trust your personal body art to anyone else.
Call Disconnected Tattoo today to schedule your consultation.
Or check out our Facebook page.
Disconnected Tattoo and Art Company in Ellsworth.
You know Matt pretty well. Did he give you any advice?
He said that I should use 26 words or more.
When every word counts.
Trash panda.
Raccoon.
You hand me a trash panda! That was gangster!
It pays to choose wisely.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You just won it! 25 words or less every weekday.
Weekdays at 9 on Fox 22.
The 2026 Nissan Frontier, with Ward's most awarded V6 engine in the last 30 years. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality. Get 0% APR on select 2026 Frontier trims.
Thousands spent their Saturday in Dover Foxcroft celebrating and, of course, eating an iconic Maine treat. The annual Whoopie Pie Festival returned to Piscataquis County, where organizers say it drew one of the biggest crowds yet. The event brings together local bakers, offering their own versions of the treat with small businesses, vendors, and plenty of fun.
Not only to celebrate whoopie pies, but to celebrate Dover Foxcroft. I mean, it is the Center Theater's largest annual fundraiser, but there's dozens of other local businesses and organizations that benefit from it. And Dover has, 4,500 people. So, doubling the population in town for a day, it's wonderful.
The festival will return to Dover Foxcroft next year. Meanwhile, Germany took on Curacao on Sunday in its first match of the World Cup. But an elephant in Cologne already predicted which team will win. An Asian elephant called Tarek at the Cologne Zoo made a snap decision to pick his home country when he was presented with 2 soccer balls decorated in the team's national colors. The bull elephant took no time in that decision, by immediately trampling the German ball until it burst with a bang. Terex Keepers says that the elephant could not have been any more clear in making that prediction. And just a quick note for everyone before we go, the voting tabulation for the gubernatorial and CD2 races will continue for today, and it should be live streamed on YouTube. For information on that, you can head to our website at foxbangor.com. That's all the time that we have left for this morning, but as always, we thank you for joining us. Have a great day, everyone.
Today on 25 Words or Less, she's the perfect actress for when your first 8 blonde, ditzy choices say no. It's Melissa Peterman. And joining Melissa are dance friends Kayla and Jessica. Her special Bothering Jesus is on Netflix, and her other special Hunting Bigfoot is on Prime Video. But I'm sure she's excited to experience the end days of broadcast television with us. It's Kathleen Madigan. And joining her are returning champion siblings Kyle